Okay, so today we're testing the X-H2 versus the X-H2S when it comes to focus. Is the X-H2S actually real world better or noticeably better than the X-H2? Fujifilm said in their release video or their release speech that the X-H2S is still going to be superior to the X-H2 in focus, but we're going to try to find out, or I'm going to try to find out, can I notice a difference? So I went out with my friend Joe and set up a scenario. We used the same camera. Well, we used the X-H2, same lens, X-H2S, same lens. We tried to do same settings across the board with both of them. And he put them in this Final Cut Pro timeline and put them side by side so that way I can try to guess or look at and see if there's a big noticeable difference. Now, I understand that technically I should have had both cameras recording side by side with the same lens, but I don't got money to have that many spare lenses running around, so we decided to try to do the same test. Camera, lens, settings, switch the camera, put the lens on, and run the same test again. So technically, it's not that technical. Let's get into the review. Also, if you haven't yet, you can click the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. It really encourages me to make more videos, to see that little subscriber number go up. But if you're not feeling that committed, just give us a thumbs up. That's all that matters. So we've got this set up here in Final Cut Pro. We've got one camera on the left, one camera on the right, and this is the 16mm Fujifilm lens. As far as for focus and all that, I tried to shoot at the lowest aperture possible on these lenses, so that way it was like autofocus had a harder time keeping up. But anyways, going forward, the aperture was fairly low on all of these to get the correct exposure. So the 16mm, so we'll jump into this and we'll just watch real quick. So I mean, right off the bat, it's looking pretty similar. We'll zoom in 200%. I am on better quality over here. So I understand this isn't the best technical review, like I said earlier, but we can at least get the general idea of what's tracking what better. As you can see, I mean, it tracks him pretty good as he comes around this corner off. You know, you can tell it's in focus there. Follows him, follows him, follows him, and then he's zooming pretty quick, so motion blur kicks in. But I mean, the left side looked like it kept up pretty good. Now we'll go with the right side. Oh, okay. I mean, definitely looks like it's tracking him very well, caught up to him, and then motion blur. Seems like the right side tracked him a little bit better, but not by much. So like, I would be happy with either of these. If I was using this in a project, I would be happy with either of these focuses. With this, they both look pretty good. I mean, in comparison, the right side does look like it held on a little bit better around that turn. But let's move on to the next one. So this is the 23mm. This is the new 23mm. I think it's the Mark II or the WR, whatever they want to call this new 23. But this is the lens that you want to use, either this lens or any of the new ones with these new cameras. The focus is great. The image quality is amazing. So let's jump into this and let's see what's going on with this 23mm. And we're going to zoom over here on the left. Let's watch this. So looks like it's got him. Looks like it's still on him. Yep, on him, keeping up. And yeah, I mean, it locks onto him. Now on the right side, definitely looks like it's still locked onto him that far out. Locked on. Yep, locked on. I mean, it looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks good. Looks like it's stuck to him. This right side looks like it kind of misses him for a second right there, but then you do catch back up. You can see the focus then catches back up with him right there. So it does look like the right side on this one lagged out a little bit. So now we've got the 50 up, and this one should be the worst one to deal with on focus because I'm shooting, I think, at like f1.1 or 1.2 on this, just to help a little bit with sharpness so we can tell whether things are in focus or not. But the motor should be the biggest and the slowest. So, and it's moving a lot of glass because that's a big lens. So this one should be more difficult for these cameras to keep something in focus. So it definitely looks locked onto him where he's at, and he's zooming in. It catches him. Hits focus again. And there, it's lost. So this one definitely, it locked onto about there, but then lost him when he went off screen, which makes sense. But it does seem like that forward motion right there was a little bit difficult for it to track him. But it catches up right there. You can see that he's out of focus and then catches up back into focus there. So, I mean, it does look pretty good. Okay, so now let's pop over here to this right side and let's see how this one looks. Okay, so it's locked on. Looks like it's got him. Yep. Okay, off screen. Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, this one does look like it tracks him pretty well through the whole thing. So the right one, the right side does look like it performed a little bit better in managing this lens. I think the right side wins on that one. I'd say the right side wins on that. Okay, now we're gonna do, now we have a running test for the 50 because we thought, you know, if we're gonna test the 50, we're gonna test the 50. So let's go all out. Yeah, that one does look like it's lagging behind just slightly. See that? I mean, you can definitely tell that the focus is following, but I don't know if it's keeping up with him. But there it definitely grabs back on. So, I mean, okay. Now let's bump over here to this side. Let's see what this side looks like. Yeah, this one the focus is locked right onto him. Yeah, that side looks noticeably better. Yeah, I mean that right side is almost instant. I would say the right is managing this 50 slightly noticeably better. Slightly noticeably better. Okay, so now I gotta bring in Joe because he is the master timeline putter togetherer. He put these videos next to each other, like I said earlier. But he knows which one is which, so I'm gonna tell him my guess, and he's gonna let me know if I was right or wrong. So, Joe, there he is.
Hey.
So, let's get into this. The in-depth, technically not technical analysis is that the X-H2 is on the left and the X-H2S is on the right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So it seemed like the X-H2S was, like Fuji said, slightly snappier. I would say for the 16, I don't really notice a difference. The 23, I didn't really notice that big of a difference.
The 50 being a slow lens,
yeah, but the 50,
you can probably see the
difference. Yeah, the 50,
there,
like I would notice the X-H2 would like do this type of motion versus the X-H2 held that. Like it was a constant catch up versus the X-H2 was kind of a little bit more jittery. But I don't have a problem with either of them and would be happy with both. So we got both. The difference between how many megapixels they have and the dynamic range. So we're going to be testing those up pretty soon. Those are actually what we're working on next. But the focus on both of these are great. I'm very happy with both. They make the not the XH, yeah, the X-H1 make it look like a dinosaur, but then the X-T4, this blows, both of these cameras blow the X-T4 out of water with focus. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the video. Like you heard me and Joe both say, the focus is great on both. I don't think the focus improvements over like the S versus the 2 are that noticeable. It is slightly smoother. So this does put the X-H2S as really the video camera. Like if you are more video than photo, the S is the way to go. I wouldn't say you'd want to go with the non-S version, the X-H2. But both are great. We're using both for both reasons, and you know, you'll see some dynamic range tests and you'll see the quality tests, and you can make the decisions for yourself. They're very interesting on how they're different, and so doing these tests are really helping me figure out how these cameras are different and really which one is for which purpose or which type of person. So if you want to keep following along, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.